is Heather Hurt with the NRW, where nerds rule the world, and we are doing one more 2022 from my selfish perspective. We're talking about TV shows today. With me is our leader, our almighty leader, Kuyapi. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Looking forward to chatting with y'all as always.
Yeah, sometimes. And of course, the funniest man in our podcast team, Glenn Lawrence. How are you,
Appreciate it. I'm doing great. Thanks, Heather. Doing great.
Awesome. We are going to talk some really quick picks, just 3 plus 1 honorable mention for my favorite shows of 2022. Just if you watched my movie special 2022 thing, you would see that I picked my honorable mention of Werewolf by Night, which means that my honorable mention for TV would have to be Moon Knight. Moon Knight is my favorite Marvel character, and I was really excited to see him on television. I cannot wait for his second season. So I want to give that character a shout out. And of course, we have Mr. Knight in there, and we had Khonshu. It's just a good show. Unfortunately, it was not one of my favorites. So shout out to Moon Knight. If you want to watch it, it is still on Disney Plus now. All right, so let's go into the real deal now. Let's make some peace with number 3.
Ooh, let's do it.
Have you ever heard of a guy named Peacemaker?
No.
He is a trained killer. We've got trouble with that maniac.
Go! What are you waiting
These
for?
are better than what you got.
You got crap back there.
Can't house train an eagle, dude. Not without stealing its soul.
Hey, Dad. It's been kind of a rough go for me lately, Dad.
One of the best kills of all time.
Building fell on me.
You let somebody shoot you?
It's not the guy invited him.
Can't wait for the next season.
Pathetic.
I thought you were in prison for life.
I work for the government.
Post office?
You think they'd let me out of prison? Bail?
I don't know. It's the first government
We
job.
deserve.
I kill people for them, okay?
This doesn't officially exist, which leaves us on our own.
We call our targets butterflies.
Such a great
They are serious
ensemble
threat to the
cast.
safety of American citizens.
There's something weird going on. You think me and Vigilante are too stupid to notice.
Hey, everyone! Which one's me and which one's Eagly?
Okay, you're half right, but you score 50% of the test at school. What do you get? A D. School was my bag. It's for dorks.
That guy's a clown.
But there's something about him that's sad.
Did you know that's James Gunn's wife?
Peacemaker, take him out.
Yeah.
Which one?
Now she is.
Take the shot.
Which one?
The blonde.
No way.
They got married last year.
Yeah, they were married. They were dating for like 8 years, and then he finally proposed right after the premiere of Peacemaker.
So
They got
happy.
married like 6 months ago.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How many men, women, and children you needed to kill to get it?
I don't know. Lately, I'm having feelings about things.
Yo, the costume design on point.
Oh,
I'm a
definitely.
grower, not a shower.
What?
An individual you don't like, and then you learn to like.
You're comparing yourself to a chode.
Not in a bad way.
Your dad.
Not a bad
Not in
way.
a bad way.
Still family.
So much great writing in
Cut
this.
it out with the introspection. The mind is a den of scorpions better left running from, not towards.
Oh, this is a deep cut trailer.
We just got shot at! You ever been shot at?
No.
Two jerks in costumes and a couple of rejects.
It's like a real team out there.
Yo, what the hell is that?
It's a grenade I tied to a Russian tank shell.
Why not just the grenade?
Grenade blows up like 2 people.
How many people does this blow up?
I don't know. I invented it this morning.
What?
Eat peace, mother.
So good. All right.
Oh, wait, does that mean the new season is coming?
It is.
January? Oh.
The new season is coming. It is one of the things that James Gunn is doing the moment that that his contract is, well, it's now officially over with Marvel, but it's, of course, he has to at least save face until the Guardians 3 comes out next year. But
That's this year.
no, that is this year. This is 2023.
Yeah, we are in 2023.
Yeah.
It's true. Okay. So anyway, so Peacemaker 2 should be coming out this year, probably later this, probably at the end of the year, if not early 2024. But
nice.
You can be excited about that. Random side note too, the comments about Amelia Holland. Remember, if we want to talk about Nepo babies, don't talk about Amelia without talking about James Gunn's brother, who has been in literally every single one of his films. Anywho, so I'm sorry. I'm going to call out crying men who don't like women. Anyway, so Peacemaker was a lot of fun. It reintroduced, because of course he was in Suicide Squid, but we officially got. There's a joke there, but I'll leave it for another day. So we got to meet him for the first time, of course, in James Gunn's Suicide Squad, and then of course he got his own show with that absolutely kick-ass theme song that people are still dancing to this very day. It was just it's one of the best music videos of all time. I mean, I'm biased, but it's one of the best music videos ever. And we got to see a lot of characters that do not get a lot of spotlight because they're not Batman, they're not Superman, they're not Spider-Man, they're not Iron Man. They're fun side characters that deserved their day, and they got it, and people loved it. So that's my number 3. Agree, disagree? P, go first.
This was my number 3 as well, but now because you had it and I want to present something different, and I was also kind of at a crossroads. Okay. So I'm going to move it down, make it my number 4. I'm going to put something else in my top 3. But yeah, one could argue this is in my top 3, but I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to shuffle it. So yeah, Peacemaker was amazing. It was appointment TV. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to season 2. Good choice, Heather.
That's a really great way to put it. I love catching shows right when they come out, but like this Peacemaker was one of the first shows in a long time where I had to watch it every week. Like I could not.
Yeah.
Appointment. All right. Glenn, do you
in addition to what you just said, I am in total agreement, because every week I was like itching to see the next episode. It was that good. It was like I looked forward to that hour, 30-minute, whatever it was, all week long. That's how good it was. And there's very few shows that actually live up to that anticipation, right? So I was anticipating it, lives up to it, and I feel great about it. Great pick. I actually would have had it as my number 2 pick. It was very high, close to number 1 pick.
Well, it's to be fair, I also had Rings of Power, which I loved. I know that there was a lot of disagreement amongst Tolkien fans, and there was also Sandman in there, so I had to figure something out. Lots of good comic book, a lot of good comic book, a lot of good literary stuff came out this season. So it was this year. It was really great. Well, last year, still 2023. Okay. Let's just keep talking comic books, and let's talk about the She-Hulk twerking.
Being a superhero is a trial by fire. Who's gonna protect the world if not people like you?
I love that suit, honestly. I know I like her. I like She-Hulk sex suit, but I also love like a nice
friends. Can we get some shots, please? It's an emergency. Demanding job.
We just started a superhuman law division, and I want you to be the face of it.
And a frustrating family.
Cause you didn't ask for this, but you still gotta deal with it. Your transformations are triggered by anger and fear.
Those are like the baseline of any woman just existing.
That's how a woman is. It really is. We're just
I'm gonna die.
Yes. No.
I just want to be a normal, anonymous lawyer.
Can you tell us where She-Hulk is?
Jen, you're a story now.
Girl, your ass looks crazy right now. You could be an Avenger.
Oh, I'm not a superhero. That is for billionaires and narcissists and adult orphans for some reason. Is there anything more depressing than dating in your 30s?
Yeah, this is the best date I've had in a while.
Oh.
Should we split some fries?
Let's get those to go.
There we go. Boom, boom, boom.
can arguably be called the most comic accurate show or film that has been made. She-Hulk was a streaming series on Disney Plus, and let the haters hate. It also talked a lot about more open issues that are often seen in comic books, including abuse, assault, harassment, and more. It really took the tone, and a lot of people with vaginas specifically, because there are multiple genders with them. You could really feel the reflection, the personality, and it was great that we had a diverse cast of crew of women writing this, and they were all She-Hulk fans. Like, that's the biggest part. And if you are so angry that She-Hulk was twerking that you cannot do anything but stare at She-Hulk twerking, you have a lot of other problems, and I don't like the word true fan, but you're not a true comic fan. So yeah. So what do y'all think of my number 2? Glenn, let's start with you.
So you mentioned haters. I would be in that camp of a hater of the She-Hulk series. Now, here's the thing. I wasn't a complete hater. I was holding on. I liked it up to a point, and then there was just something about, like, sometimes things are super accurate to the source material, right? Mm-hmm. And that's a good thing. In this case, it ruined it, because I love the last saga up through Endgame. I cry every time. It just came on the other day on TBS. Made me watch the whole thing over again, all 6 hours of it, cried again at the same point. And so when you're super comic book accurate and you have them going in and doing things like talking to the monitor and talking about all the storylines and everything, it just felt like it cheapened all of those tears that I shed for Endgame and Infinity War and Spider-Man and Little Groot and all the people that I was very, very sad about, Black Widow and Gamora and all of that. So it made me sad, but I was liking it up until the very last episode. And then I was like, I'm furious. I feel like you cheapened everything. But of course, that is sticking with how the comics are. I just thought that they were maybe going to deviate from that part of it, because they change stuff all the time. I thought that was one thing, that they wouldn't go so deep into the meta that it basically cheapened the rest of the MCU. But again, I had to think about it, right? And I'm talking to Mike. She's like, "Oh yeah, you're like really like upset about this," and that made me like think like, yeah, I should chill. I'm very upset about this series finale, but I should probably chill. Not that big a deal. It was comic book accurate, so I can't be really upset. But I was just mad because I felt like I was like, it's too much. You know when you have like a good ingredient, like you got like sugar in the Kool-Aid or something, and then you pour a little bit too much. It's like, it's too sweet. That's what this was. It's like, it's too sweet. I got it. You pour too much. It's the good stuff, but it's too much of the good stuff. So there it is. That's what I think about it. I'm happy that you put it in there, though. I definitely think it needs to be in a conversation for best things that came out in 2022, though.
Sweet. And go watch our reviews of She-Hulk. But we had a whole conversation about we get what you get. And Glenn, I wouldn't call you a hater. You have rightful dislikes about the show. A hater is someone who goes after women for being women. No. Or a black person for being black.
Very true. I will say this though. While watching the show, it did become apparent to me. It's like, oh, this is like this is like for the female gaze versus like the male gaze or whatever, which I was very much okay with. I'm like, no, that's cool. I want to see stories from a different point of view that are funny for them. You know what I mean? Like some of the things, like would I have wanted to see She-Hulk twerking with Meg the Stallion? I don't like I would rather see her on an adventure with Daredevil, but I'm a dude. That's not, you know what I mean? Like that's like the trade-off. I thought it was fun. It was cool. It means that She-Hulk is in the world, which actually could actually raise the stakes for the future of the MCU. So I'm reserving judgment. In the moment I was upset, I'm happy about it right now. Seeing your smiling face makes me even more happy that it was made, and it's made people like you and all over the world smile. So I'm very happy with it. It's a good one. I'm getting off of my high horse before I say something that people are like, why would you say that? But
you can look at it as you can shift everything into a positive. What you're saying is that She-Hulk became a great central point for much of the MCU. We got to see so many characters all come together and actually mesh up. We got to see characters return to the MCU. We got a whole bunch of really great things with shows like Daredevil. We have it coming back. We have Echo coming up soon. Like, we have shows thanks to She-Hulk as now a center point. We have a vaster universe thanks to one character, and it can be looked at both positive and negatively. As long as you're not hating on her just for being a woman, that's okay. You have every right to like or dislike a show. So if you disagree with me, to all of the humans, all of the 3 humans that care about my opinion, tell us in the comment. Like, tell us what you think. And also go watch our reviews of She-Hulk. We get into some real good debates about what is too much comic versus what is not. Go watch it.
And this is also, just real quick before we go, this is a great point, because people will see how they're being very passionate, saying, screw you guys who are hating on this show or whatever. And this is great because it shows that it's not hating on people who have an opinion that is like different, that they dislike certain things about the show. It's talking about the people who are hating on the show for the fact that it exists, which is not, it's not the way to go. It's not right. It's not the thing. Like, we have good conversations. She has a different opinion than I have. Priya P has a different opinion than I may have or whatever, but we all come together and review these things, and they're all valid. But what is not valid is hating for something for the sake of it existing.
Exactly. Priya P, what is you're quiet over there.
So I'm like, bro. I'm like, how is this not your number one, Heather? With all of the combo we've had this past year about the show, I can't wait to hear why your number one is your number one and how it surpassed this, because She-Hulk is my top show of the year. Spoiler alert, my top show of the year. So I'm going to give a different clip when we do my show for my streaming TV for the year. I'm going to give a different clip because, again, She-Hulk, outstanding. I enjoyed it. Was appointment TV. I loved every minute of it for every reason that Heather explained, and the back and forth that Glenn was having with Heather about it. I absolutely love She-Hulk Attorney at Law. It was masterful, and I truly enjoyed it. I loved it. For all the reasons that were spoken. So I will give a different clip when I present it, so that way I can give a spotlight on something else that I think people should have checked out. So that's what I'm going to do with my show, y'all, nice. When we get to my streaming and TV. So I'm ready to hear why this pick is your number one now, Heather.
Let's hear
How did
it.
this beat She-Hulk? Tell me.
Sure. All right. So I'm going to preempt. I'm always going to preempt, because why would we go straight into anything ever? We would but the reason that I pick the shows that I pick is because I look for diversity. I look for inclusivity. I want to see myself as much as I want to see my friends, my loved ones, and everything. And this show really spotlit the LGBTQIA community more so than almost any show this year. So I was just, it was really important to me. It was really important to a lot of my friends, a lot of my peers. So my number one is Our Flag Means Death.
Ooh. Let's see.
Blackbeard, Captain Kidd, the Gentleman Pirate.
Well, the first 2 are like very, very talented pirates.
But the last one is the scariest of them all. Instead of killing with weapons, he kills with kindness.
Oh, right, so you're the gentleman pirate then.
Well sussed.
The rumor is you ended your entire comfortable life to become a pirate.
I got bad news for you, genital pirate. Pirate
Genital pirate.
It's a really dangerous lifestyle.
Hello everyone, I'm Blackbeard. Huge fan, sir. Huge.
We're going to go on up there and we're going to cause some havoc. How violent do we expect this to get? Note the dust. Aren't you taking notes?
What are you doing?
I'm just looting this library, but I'm replacing all the books I've looted with ones I've already read.
how hard this is someone.
Oh, how sweet. It's like me already.
Do these outfits maybe feel like an error in judgment? It's a power move. Make people feel underdressed, and suddenly you're the one in charge.
You're a lunatic and I like it.
We're swashbuckling. We're looting. Let's have fun with it. Come on. Give a man a warning.
That was your warning.
A lot of the guys are sweethearts deep down.
Well, that's perfect.
They're just dealing with a fair amount of trauma.
Permission to blow them to hell, Captain.
And we're quite certain they're pirates?
Hard to say. One appears to be a heavy-set woman in a silk dressing gown.
Everybody hide! A gentleman never arrives empty-handed. Amid tapas. Tapas means little plates.
Yeah, I know about tapas. There we go.
Glenn just turned around, has left us, straight up left us during that.
I had to do some research. I didn't even know that thing that existed. That was
What?
late.
You know about a Taika Waititi television
What?
show about pirates existed?
I did not know it existed. That blew me away, bro.
Our Flag Means Death is a satirical take on pirates during the Great Pirate Era. I have a pirate thing, if you didn't know, One Piece is one of my favorite comics. It actually relates a lot to some real life pirates. You got a lot of names in there. But this is once again, it's a satirical take on pirate stories. We've got Blackbeard. We've got I've always Slate Steel. Oh, I always forget his name. Steed Bonnet. There we go. By Reese is played by Reese Darby. Really great show, and it really highlighted the true life of pirates. Many pirates were slaves that didn't want to go back. But they were able to have an equal share on a pirate ship. You had a family. Most pirates were family. They weren't just a crew of people. There was democracy. There was looting and freedom, and you see these gay relationships, these inclusive relationships within the show, but they're related to very real relationships that happen within the pirate community. Many of them tag teamed. They had a partner, either that could be sexual or emotional or intellectual, but it was their person that they could use and rely on at any point. If they died, they could give off their share of the treasure to them. Basically a partner. And so these were real true things. It was where people could go to feel themselves. Lots of trans within the pirate community, lots of just people being people. And it's, if you want to know more, I actually strongly suggest Grim and Mile did a great their second season is on pirates. I strongly suggest it's a podcast. Aaron Mankey, the guy who does Lord, is the producer of it. So I suggest it if you want to know more about pirates themselves. But this show just really highlighted a lot of the things that so many people love about television. It was funny. It had a glimpse of truth to it. And Blackbeard was gay. And Taika Waititi even confirmed that at one point he was just like, I'm making a show for me. I'm doing what I want to do. I knew that he was British, but I didn't want to make him British, so I just kept my accent. And you got to love a show that can just be artistic and fun like that.
There you go.
Glenn, are you interested enough that my number one turned you on to an HBO Max show?
Your number one turned me on, Heather. 100%. I did not know it existed, and now I need it in my life. I'm very excited seeing Taika Waititi in there, and my man Marty from Flight of the Conchords. Remember?
Yes,
that's my dude. He's always super hilarious, so I'm very excited. Plus, it has Leslie Jones, who I love. I was just watching a movie called Out of Office, and Leslie Jones is in that, and I was like, why is she not in more movies? She is great. She's so fun. She's hilarious. She
plays an absolute badass. You're going to love every second.
I know that I am. She's great. She just does amazing things. She's her instincts are great in terms of acting. Her instincts are great in terms of comedy. I'm so happy. I'm super happy that you brought this to my attention, because I did not know it existed, and now I'm like, I need to see this.
You got a whole season to watch, dude.
I got a whole season now.
Season 2 is on the way. They did wrap up production a couple of weeks ago, and it did survive the great culling of HBO from Discovery.
The Time Warner.
Not Time Warner. Discovery.
Oh, Discovery bought it from Time Warner, right? Okay.
Well, from AT&T. But one, which is unfortunate because we're going to literally Minx was like 2 weeks out from being completed and it was canceled. And that was a great goddamn show. So mad. Anywho, talk about the female gaze. Bring back Minx. God damn it. All right, Kuya P, what is your opinion of Our Flag Means Death as my number one?
I understand why you chose it over She-Hulk, for all the various reasons you said. I want to give you an apology, because earlier in the year when this was happening, you and I weren't collaborating a lot in regards to stepping up in your roles and stuff. I was offered this. I don't know if you recall.
What?
We were offered this early, as well as interviews with the cast and crew. But I personally thought at the time it wasn't going to be as big as a show as it turned out to be. So when season 2 runs around and Warner and HBO reach back again, I now know that Heather, here we go. Our Flag Means Death season 2. It's all you. And again, my apologies that you could have actually saw this in advance.
Oh, I
had all these interviews last year for this season 1, but I didn't think it was going to be as big as it was. So here's my apology to you. And at the time, you weren't like, you and I weren't talking about like stepping up and stuff.
We weren't.
I didn't know to like throw this your way.
I don't even think I had done my first interview yet, so that's fair. But it's one of those where it's like it's a Taika Waititi show, and the gays were like all over. We were like, this is our jam, okay?
So now I know.
Love it.
Now I know, and I truly understand. But when the next season rolls around, I got you. That's what I'm gonna say. I got you.
Okay, this one right here. Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad that I introduced someone to something new, and I'm glad that we were mostly in agreement as to why certain things are on my list. I hope if you agree with my picks, please comment below and make sure you hit that subscribe button because there's going to be lots of conversations between the three of us about the best of 2022. All right. We'll start this time. Kuya P, where can they find you?
You can follow me at the Legend Kuya P on Twitter, TikTok, IG, Hive, and of course here with Heather and Glenn and the whole squad at the NRW and Release Wednesday, where nerds rule the world.
And Glenn, where can they find you?
Yeah, you can find levelupcomedy.com, Glenn Levels Up on Twitter, Glenn Lawrence Comedy on Facebook, as well as IG.
Awesome. And you can find me at Nerd is a Heather on Twitter and at Heather is a Nerd on Hive, IG, and TikTok. All right, guys, we will see you all around. It is 2023 again. Just a reminder. Yeah.
Woo!